Hello everyone and welcome back to Chef Sherry's Plant-Based Kitchen. Today I want to tell you something. I told Dale this morning I'm sort of tired of cooking. How about if we go out to one of our favorite little restaurants and I'll get a salad and he gets this veggie wrap, and he said that's great. But as Dale often knows, I sometimes change my mind as I look around my kitchen later in the day and I am inspired to make something at home, and that's what happened today. You know, I've planted some basil in a pot in my backyard and it was like really growing beautifully, and I said, I know what to do with you. So what are we making today? We're making a high protein, oil-free pesto. We're going to put it on this wonderful pasta. It's a whole grain, whole wheat pasta, and we'll have a big salad. And that'll be dinner, really simple. So let me show you how easy this recipe is to make. It comes from Angela Liddon in the Oh She Glows cookbook, but I of course have modified it to make sure it has no oil in it. So we're making an oil-free recipe of pesto. Now I have found that this pesto is best used fresh. I have frozen it before, and it loses a little something when it gets frozen. So I'm just going to make one batch that will take care of this box of pasta, and then I'll have more basil to bring in whenever I please and make another batch. But this is how easy it is to do. All I'm going to do is take my food processor here, and I'm going to throw in 1 clove of garlic that I just chopped up. It says you should put it in whole, but I like to give it a head start. So I chopped it, and then I'm going to add 1 cup of freshly packed basil. So this is a lot of basil that I got into 1 cup because I pushed it down to make sure it has a lot of flavor. Aren't those beautiful leaves? That's from my garden. I'm so happy. You know, it's so expensive to buy basil in the store, but if you go and get 1 or 2 plants and put it in a pot, you are good for the summer, because every time you pick off some leaves, new ones are going to come out, and you're going to be always supplied with fresh basil all summer long. This recipe also calls for 1½ cups of cannellini beans, which I had in my freezer because I make them in my Instant Pot and I freeze them for later use. And today is the later use. The next thing we're going to put in is just a tablespoon of water. And then we're going to put in 2 tablespoons of nutritional yeast. I'll spread this around. Next, we're going to add in some lemon juice. It says 2 to 3 tablespoons. I think lemon juice gives this a wonderful taste, so we're going to use 3 tablespoons. But you can start with 2 and add more as you need to. And then it calls for 1/2 to 3/4 teaspoon of kosher salt. But if you watched my last video and I talked to you about potassium chloride, which is a substitute for salt, as long as you don't have kidney disease, check with your doctor. If you do, you shouldn't be using this because it would interfere with your kidney's ability to get it out of your system. But for me, it's fine, but it's strong. So we're just going to use 1/4 of a teaspoon of this, just 1/4. And if we need more later, we can add a little bit in, but I think that's going to be plenty. And let's see if that was it. Yes, and then I added one thing to this recipe just to give it a little more richness. Now it's a little bit of pine nuts. It's just 1/4 cup, but I remember growing up, pesto had pine nuts in it, and so I'm going to enhance the flavor of it. All I do is I'm going to put this into the food processor and I'm going to turn it on. Now my food processor's been acting up a little. Sometimes it spits out stuff out the back, so I hope it doesn't today. So let's see what happens. We're just going to watch it blend for a few minutes, and I'll grab myself my spatula because I'll push some down in about a couple of seconds here just to make sure it's all getting in there. So let me look at it. It's starting to blend, but I want to get it all in there, so just push it all down and turn it back on. And so far, it's behaving. I don't see anything flying out of the back here. Look at the beautiful color. Can you see the nice green that we're getting here? This is the best pesto, and it has no cheese in it, just healthy whole foods. And these are the whole foods that we need to stay healthy. want to get it nice and smooth, so hang in there with me for another little bit. Oh, that's looking beautiful. So pretty. All right, let me turn it off for a second. That looks really sharp. Now what I want to do, be right back. I'll get a little spoon, I'm going to taste it. See what it tastes like. Wow, really good. You know, I don't think it needs any more of this new salt at all. It's fine. Now, of course, what we're going to do is put it on the pasta, and I want to tell you about one more thing that you can top it with. Have you ever tried a vegan Parmesan cheese before? This recipe comes from the Minimalist Baker, and I will post that recipe as well. Let me just grab my phone. I took a picture of this so I can tell you what's in it, and here it is. So it has... Maybe I can show this, Dale. Can you read that, Dale? Can you read what's in that? Can you show the recipe there?
Yeah.
You don't have to get too close. Okay.
3 tablespoons of nutritional yeast and 3/4 cup cashews and 1/4 teaspoon garlic powder and 1/4 teaspoon sea salt.
And of course, you can substitute the new salt, but instead of using 3/4 teaspoon, use 1/4 because it's strong. That's all there is to this recipe, and this is what it looks like when it gets into your food processor. Looks like Parmesan cheese, and it's delicious, and it's wonderful, excuse me, to top on your pasta. So give this recipe a try, the high-protein, oil-free basil pesto, and let me know what you think of it. All right, have a great day, everyone. See you next time. So long.